Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between. I'm your host, James J., starring Coleco Yachts.
What up, everybody? Time for the watch along party. I tried to do it like super kick party, but it wasn't. No.
I could do Super Kick Party. I don't think I could do regular a watch along party.
Watch along party.
Also starring Mitch Mayhem and Scooter Dust, who could not join us for the show tonight. And for the 25th anniversary of In Your House, we are picking our favorite matches from the whole 3-year span of the In Your House concept. And tonight we are doing Coleco's pick. We are wrestling with In Your House Canadian Stampede. This now you're gonna wanna get your WWE network ready, your DVD players, your VHS, your Betamax, however you want to view this. So, and you want to go to 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 35 seconds, and you're going to want to pause it there.
Yep.
And when I say 3, 2, 1, play, you're going to want to push the play button. Do you understand, Coleco?
Yes, I understand. Before we start, I'll give everybody a reason why I picked this one. And everyone's going to think, because, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Actually, to me, I picked this particular match because I feel like this was Bret Hart's WWF swan song. I feel like this was Owen Hart's swan song. I feel like this was Jim Neidhart's swan song. In a sense where, because everybody's going to go, oh, well, he made the Hall of Fame and da-da-da-da, which is true, but the reception and the way that it ended, I swear, if Bret had left after this, it would have looked totally different than it did only for what? No, it's July. So about 4 months later, which was the screw job. So that's why I say this, to me, was his swan song in the WWE. This was like his curtain call where he got all the adoration and adulation. Not saying that he didn't at the screw job because it was obvious, but that, to me, the screw job his adulation there came from a place of anger, of the fans being angry. This one just came from a sense of actual love and appreciation for the Hart family as a whole. And considering that it was named Canadian Stampede due to the fact that that was a thing in Canada and Canadian wrestling. So that's where I feel like this match is. This is the reason I picked this match, I would say.
All right. And we will be watching the show in 3, 2, 1, play.
Boom, 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 boom. And we're getting to where Goldust pops out.
If I'm not mistaken, Goldust was a last-minute replacement for Oddman Johnson, I believe.
I believe so. The way that this worked is, I feel like the whole American team as a whole was just put together because, to be quite honest, the main feud, was between Stone Cold and Bret Hart. Ken Shamrock, you could make a argument for because of the simple fact that, this was WrestleMania 13, and they had the whole thing with the I Quit match. So you could see his reasoning for being in it. But other than that, everyone else was just paced together. Right. And I felt like this ended that Austin Brett feud and it pushed him to go to Owen.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened there with the whole SummerSlam thing. So to me, I think this changed the trajectory of where Stone Cold was going to go next as a character and who he was going to feud with.
And me and Scooter have been talking about in the last two episodes, how many different alternative realities these in your house shows could have made if one little thing changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just weird how, like, yeah, one thing, one person, right place, right time. Uh,
But that's just the story of
and
wrestling.
and it's just weird how that, like, how it just can shift on a dime. And to me, to be quite honest, at this point, Austin was becoming a face,
I love
but
how
you
Howard
couldn't
Finkel
tell.
has. If you notice, Howard Finkel's wearing a cowboy hat.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He knew, he knew. And Stone Cold Steve Austin's coming down the ramp, and to me, he's like the LeBron James walking into the Golden State Warriors arena. Everyone likes him, but like tonight, bruh, nah, nah, fam. Like it was just like nah. We love you, but not right now. Any other night, but not tonight. And you just see him, he's flipping the bird to everybody, and Canada's just flipping it off to him. And we ain't even gotten to the point of like Stu Hart and Helen Hart literally ringside. Like it, that's why I feel like this match, it was the swan song of the Hart legacy, in a sense, you know?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Brian Pillman aspect with Stone Cold. And I feel like that they had a feud with them, but with him and Stone Cold, but can only go so far. He got to the point where they pulled a gun on him. I remember I
I
was like
was
a
just gonna
kid
say. I
watching it.
mean, he pulled a gun on him. You can't get more. Uh, there's not a lot more places you could go with that.
I know, right? It was like after the gun got pulled, it was like, and it's funny how, like, Brian Pillman, he's so revered, yet he's going against his former Hollywood blonde, Stone Cold. So it's just, yeah, man, it just, you know, and and you hear the ovation, man. It's just nuts how, like, it's just banana. It feels like the opposite of WrestleMania 10, where when Vince had introduced all the football players and everybody was just like, yay, yay, yay. Lawrence Taylor, yay. This was like Brad Pillman, yeah. Jim Niedhart, yeah. Bulldog, ah.
Yeah, you
It,
could.
it, it, it just, everything got louder and louder and louder,
This one
you
of
know.
the loudest crowds in WWE history. I would have to imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if
And
if there was ever, and then Diana Smith is Miss Calgary. Come on, man. You can. It's man. I felt bad. I felt bad for that team, man. I felt bad. And then what was the crazy part is, if you saw like the pre-interview that they had, Stone Cold kind of doing like his little rock thing, like he's like, "Yeah, I'm with y'all, but I ain't with y'all." You know what I'm saying?
right,
And and it's funny. That's where the whole DTA, don't trust anybody, kind of got its genesis by him just what turning on to anybody. He didn't really care, friend or foe. I mean, the phrase didn't get there, but the build to the phrase got there.
right. But if you kind of look at Stone Cold's '97, it was just tag team after tag team. He tag teamed with Shawn Michaels. He tag teamed with Dude Love. This tag team match over here. It seems like they put, with no pun intended, put Stone Cold on ice for the entirety of '97.
Yeah, I mean, But to be honest, I will say this. I felt like '96, they didn't know what they, even though he won the King of the Ring and everything popped, they weren't really sure, because keep in mind, he didn't get the WWE title and became the mantle '98. So this is his year of developing the character. So I think
Right.
this actually helped him with the character. And then you keep in mind, SummerSlam, he breaks his neck. Uh, and that kind of, it wasn't a big setback, but it was a setback enough to where like he had to stay out of the action, and but by the
Right.
time he came back, the crowd was so clamoring for him. That's when I think Vince realized, oh yeah, that's the guy. Even Shawn Michaels was saying that's the guy. Bret Hart, funny story too. He was talking about how he talked to Vince to get Stone Cold in the first place, when Stone Cold got fired by WCW and he went to ECW, and he lobbied to Vince and kind of got on Vince like, yo, this guy is really good. How come, we didn't get him? And ECW got him. And that's when he had the ECW run, which was a short stint. And then he took the WWF deal, and the rest is history. So Bret Hart kind of like pulled him in.
Right. And then sometime later, Stone Cold told Bret Hart, don't go to WCW, which he
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yes, he did. But totally, I mean, Stone Cold circumstances and Bret Hart circumstances, they are both wrong. However, two totally different cases. Stone Cold getting fired by, via fax machine, and Bret Hart,
FedEx.
we all know. So, it's just crazy how those two, as much as, we say Stone Cold and The Rock is intertwined, I feel like Bret and Stone Cold is the forgotten intertwine.
Yeah. Look how they're
Because they
going.
basically, yeah, they're hammering,
This is kind
and
of Rock and Stone Cold esque. They would just, lay in those potatoes at the beginning of a match.
that is true. And the funny part is, Stone Cold doesn't become Stone Cold like badass without Bret in the WrestleMania 13 match. Actually, he doesn't become Stone Cold like Stone Cold without the Bret feud. I could make an argument. Um,
I would agree with that.
bec- considering the fact that Stone Cold was a heel, he was one of the cool heels, and everyone noticed it. And Bret took it upon. I mean, they did one of probably the best, if not the best, one of the best double turns ever at WrestleMania 13, as Bret Hart hits the atomic drop with the clothesline, and everybody's just popping for anything. Bret could take a piss on him right now, and everybody's like, ah! So,
Uh, Bret Hart's special move, the Golden Shower.
hey, that's R. Kelly's finishing move, and I don't think that's nobody. That's a whole nother different finishing move. But to me, I feel like that Stone Cold and Bret had a great technical wrestling chemistry, and this is when Stone Cold was working. Not the hey, I'm just going to get beat up and hit you with the stunner type deal. This is when he was actually putting in that work.
I think it kind of sucks that we never got a payoff to Bret Hart and Stone Cold at the end of the day.
I mean, personally, I feel like this was it. I mean, to be quite honest, when you think about it, it started with Bret and Austin for a reason, and I feel like this was the brush off for Stone Cold to get to Owen.
No, I
So
disagree. I think they, there was a lot more going on in '97 than what happened at this paid preview. 1 month later, Bret Hart would win the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, and
true.
I kind of feel like they would have gotten there eventually. Maybe even Bret and Stone Cold at Mania 14 instead of, Shawn. But, it seems like they had that match at WrestleMania 13. It was building to one more singles match between them, and it just kind of never got there.
Well, if that was the case, they would have just did it at SummerSlam that year, right? Like you would have thought. One would think, let's just say, hey, Austin could have been like, hey, you beat me, but it was just me and a bunch of clowns. Let me get your ass one more again. And it could have happened. But they were also with the intertwining of Shawn Michaels and Bret's real life thing. So,
Right.
it's just crazy how like those little things happen. And this is when Bret was like, well, he was just getting back. He was on a hiatus up until April, so he's coming back. He's coming back as a heel, but yet here he's a face. Then he goes to SummerSlam and works with Taker, which, how funny, Taker, short title run. Because didn't he won that title at 13, lost it at SummerSlam
Yeah.
the same year.
I don't think it was ever supposed to be, a lengthy run. It was just, circumstances dictated. And I talked to Scooter about this on the first episode, the Final Four. You
Mm-hmm.
know, who was going to be the champion going into that? Was it going to be the guy that lost his smile, the guy that was whining, or the guy that would rather be at softball practice?
Mm-hmm.
So, Undertaker was your only option at this point.
Uh, true. I mean, he could have been, but I mean, let's see. Michaels loses his smile. Brett could have had the title and he could have fought Austin for the title. That could have been a 13 match where Austin looks good in defeat, and then they could have built it up the next year. But then again, everything changed in the background due to the money and Vince, and it was just
Right.
a lot of shit that WWE was juggling with in '97. And
This was
keep in
Brett's
mind, they
this was Brett's hottest year, but even with all this, him being like the top heel, he was pretty bitter in '97, leading up to the
I
Montreal
mean,
Screwjob.
kind of had and everybody's gonna take sides on that. I try to be just more perspective based. And when you look at it, I mean, you would be too if someone gives you a 10-year, 20-year deal and they're like, yeah, we're going to have to let you go, bro. And you could just go look somewhere else. And you really and it wasn't like Brett was wanting to leave. I feel like there's something could have been done about it. And then Brett, know, part stubbornness on Brett part stubbornness on Vince part. As far as like what happened afterwards, as Goldust comes in on Owen. Um,
What do you think about the shaved cut on Owen? I kind of like him with the long hair.
oh, the King of Hearts type deal, yeah, it makes him look younger. He looked like he was 12 when he was in the King of Hearts. But keep in mind, I think he gained some weight here, and not saying like he got fat, but muscle.
Muscle, yeah.
He got more muscular uh, from 90 than 95, especially me watching 95. All of 95 WWE. Yeah, he kind of got some guns on him.
Maybe because unfortunately, Vince McMahon always felt that he was maybe too small. So maybe bulking up to, get Vince's attention. Maybe I'm not the smallest guy in the room. Which
I
he
mean,
isn't.
Brett ain't that fucking big. I mean, Brett
I was
ain't
just gonna
big.
say that
Sean
too.
wasn't
Yeah.
big. Yeah, Sean wasn't big. Brett wasn't big. I just I feel like Owen 95 should have been like his title run. I feel like he could have got it then as a transitional champion or whatever, what have you. because that was probably like his best year as far as the storyline goes, and him beating Bret, leading to Bret winning the title, that whole thing, and him causing Bob Backlund to lose, and then Diesel comes out of nowhere and wins it. I feel like that could have been Owen beating Bret instead of Bob Backlund beating Bret.
Yeah, that's a fair
But
assessment.
because to me, Bob Backlund they just built that storyline off of bitterness of being screwed over by Bret. And Owen was involved in the decision of the match anyway. So you might as well had gave him the belt right there if you were gonna lose it in December. You know what I mean?
Right. It is,
So
it is,
Goldust and Bret,
yeah. Two of,
and
two of the better wrestlers in WWF at this time. The date on this paid preview was July 6, 1997. It was in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, at the Canadian Airlines Saddle Dome. The attendance was
yep,
1,151. 12,000, yeah.
12,150. But it and to be quite honest, this pay-per-view culminated Canadian Stampede weekend because they had a whole thing. This was pretty much like the culmination of a whole wrestling, kind of like Canada's version of WrestleMania in a sense. I mean, other than WrestleMania, this was probably like them getting WrestleMania. This was probably at that time the biggest thing that they probably had at
You're
that time.
absolutely right. I mean, it didn't get too much better, the hometown heroes in this match. And they were all in one match.
Oh yeah, and that was another reason too. The way that they made him come out, it felt like the way that they got introduced. It felt like a send off. So that's why I say if this was like think of Bret, think of the legacy of Bret had he left like here instead of November because they were talking about them leaving anyway.
Right.
They were in the midst of that whole contract dispute anyway. But by him leaving here, it would have been a totally different trajectory.
Absolutely. Your undercard for this show, and this is the main event, was Hunter Hearst Helmsley wrestled Mankind and ended in a double countout. The Great Sasuke defeated Taka Michinoku. Can I get an indeed? All right.
Indeed.
Undertaker defeated Vader with Paul Bearer for the WWE World Championship. So that
And
was
that's fun. And that's funny. Everybody keeps talking, well, the WWF title, they've always had a main event. The hell they did, because this is 97. And they were like, and they knew the audience was going to be like, nah, bruh. You better end it with our folks.
oh there
And
was
Austin working that.
Bruce and Austin getting into a little tussle there.
I know. You forget how cut Austin was in 97. Like, damn, he was ripped, bro. He had some guns on him.
if I'm not mistaken,
Sexy, sexy beast.
if I'm not mistaken, Bruce actually pitched the sibling rivalry match between him and Bret that subsequently became Owen.
Really?
Yeah, he pitched that idea to Vince, and Vince was gonna go with it, but then Bret was like, "No, do it with Owen. Owen would be better," and he said, "All right."
Damn. Well, funny how stuff works out, man.
Oh yeah.
It just crazy, like one thing, and it just uh and to think about it, this pay-per-view was not that long. It was only about 5 matches. About
Yep.
5 matches. And this was it. Like
This only went
24
like
minutes of mayhem.
2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it
getting a
just
little
it
too
just felt
getting
felt short.
too much of a view of Brian Pillman there. Honestly,
Yep.
if you know the circumstances was different for Brian Pillman, he would have died 3 months later at right before the Bad Blood pay preview.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that was right when they were having Brian Pillman was supposed, and that's funny. Brian Pillman goes on to feud with Goldust.
with Marlena.
Marlena's in the pic,
Yeah.
and Marlena was supposed to be on the 30-day love affair with Pillman, and they were supposed to end up getting together, thus leaving Goldust. It's just crazy how so much stuff got shifted, you know,
Oh
with
yeah.
Pillman dying, and then Bret leaving, and then Owen subsequently dying, and Niedhart just, you know, and it just
Fading
felt
into
like when Bret,
existence.
yeah, it's just nuts.
And
And Stone Cold just was like, took this L and like, oh yeah, I'm the biggest star in history. And the British Bulldog busting that ass.
if circumstances were different, I could have saw Brian Pillman as champion.
Nah. And the only reason I say that because Stone Cold was starting to get white hot. Like it wasn't even funny how crazy hot he was. I, I
True,
feel like
but
I
you
feel
could
like
have
the Stone Cold rise was a eventual.
true, but I mean, you could have had Brian Pillman never really caught steam. He never gained any momentum in his WWE run. It was, he was starting to build some momentum with that Goldust rivalry. And after Stone Cold's run, when Stone Cold wins the WWE Championship at 14, that could have been replaced, man, Dude Love with Brian Pillman.
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point there. I mean, there's a point there. As Stone Cold once again leaves the team, piss break. And then it's just crazy. Like, how did the Legion of Doom go from feuding with the Nation to somehow being in the Hart Foundation? That's why I feel like it was just like LeBron James and a bunch of dudes against like the whole country of Canada. No big deal.
You know, People, like pinpoint Stone Cold's 97 as one of his hottest years. I disagree. I think 96 was one of his best years, because he was legitimately a heel. Austin 316, I just whipped your ass. A couple good matches with Savio Vega, the Bret Hart match. Then he wins the Royal Rumble. Then that incredible match with Bret Hart. And then it kind of seems after that, when they transitioned him to a face, he kind of couldn't get his footing on how to be a face, but also a heel. And I don't think he really got it until he won the championship in '98.
Yeah, but let's keep that in mind. Won the Royal Rumble in '97. I think that's the first time a winner didn't get the title shot at Mania, because remember, it ended up being Taker and Sid.
Right.
So, so funny how that you see it. Do you see my point? Like,
Yeah, the pivot points.
he, so Brett and Stone Cold could have been feuding for the title at 13, or not even 13, at at this show, Canadian Stampede, could have been all the way up to SummerSlam. So it could have,
Yeah,
yeah. The WWE first time not following the rules.
Later this month, Bret Hart, actually in August, Bret Hart would go on to wrestle the Patriot, where he would lose on Monday Night Raw, which would lead to the Patriot Bret Hart match at Ground Zero in September, which was Scooter Dust's pick last week.
Oh yeah, I remember that. The Patriot, aka possibly Hogan, aka we'll never know. Maybe
Del,
Scooter knows.
it was Del Wilkes.
But
You didn't know the Patriots was Del Wilkes?
you say what?
Del Wilkes was the Patriot.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. But everybody had you remember back then we all thought it was Hogan because it was very Hogan-ish. Not saying that it was Hogan, but it was very Hogan-ish.
You know what I find interesting? All three of us, with no influence from anybody else, we all three picked matches with Bret Hart in them, and they were all in '97.
Cause you know what's funny? Cause '97, I feel like Brett's. Yeah, this was Brett's best character development year in '97. 94, he kind of 94 to 95, and this is me watching Raw from 94 to 95. So 94 to 95, he's kind of up and down. He would get the title. He lost to Backlund, and then he
He got his
took a
jacket
break.
stolen.
Yeah, take a break, come back, uh, fight, gets a feud with Lawler, and has pretty decent matches with Hakushi. It felt like Brett was lost in the sauce while Diesel was the champ. And even though they had the title shot in '95 at the Royal Rumble, it kind of ended with some some craziness with Shawn Michaels coming out and attacking Diesel, Owen coming out and attacking Brett. So it felt like Brett was lost in the sauce in '95 up until November when he finally beats Diesel, gets the title, and then that's where the whole Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels thing was supposed to happen. It happened in '96, and Bret was contending that he wanted to take the time off, come back, do it again with Michaels in '97, where at that time he would get the win. So it's supposed to have been like a, a kind of like how Roxana was like, a year in between type deal.
Right.
Um, but of course we all know Shawn was going through his shit in '96.
He lost his swag.
So you know what I'm saying. So between that and the emergence of Stone Cold and the fact that WWE was losing money, it was just like a lot of moving integrated parts, and they were really trying to find their groove because I want to say this is like NWO at this point is hot as it ever been. It looked like the Wu-Tang Clan. Everybody was in there, and in the NWO, and this is like the beginning of WWE starting to shift it a little bit, and
Right.
actually get stars, even though they lose arguably the biggest star at that time in Brett.
Don't even get me started on WCW in 1997. Well, I could go a lot longer than this match about it. But yeah, '97 was probably WCW's biggest year. But you could make the argument they didn't have were just using recycled superstars from WWE. WWE was making new stars. You know, Stone Cold is here. Uh, The Rock is currently in the Nation of Domination.
Yep.
Uh, Trying to get
Taker,
something out
Taker,
of,
still Taker.
yeah. Uh, Ken Shamrock is there. They're trying to get something out of Ken Shamrock. Um,
I mean, they got something out of him. Not even mentioning DX, starting the formulation of DX in about 4 or 5 months.
Actually,
So
yeah. It was right around this time they started DX, if I'm not mistaken.
in a sense, but I think when to me they were just like a bunch of people in a sense. Up until Bret started feuding with Shawn later in '97, that's when I think DX when Bret calls them the whole degenerates, and yeah, we're a bunch of degenerates, we're D-Generation X type deal. So it was the genesis of, I say, a couple months into it, like in between SummerSlam and Survivor Series is when, and look at Bret Stone Cold, mean mugging the Stu Hart, beating up on the old Stone Cold. This was like at this point, he was like Tupac in New York City. Like, I don't give a fuck. We about to whoop everybody ass.
Yeah, and Stu was like, yeah, I'll rip yeah, pervert.
And
Oh, and that was
oh,
it.
and that was it. And it's funny though that Stu was that much of a gangster. Be like, I'll let him put his paws on me, but I'm gonna put it back.
I
But now
wish.
and it's funny how that ended. It ended. The match is over. They're still going.
Yeah.
But this is where the whole Hart clan comes in and kind of helps them out in a sense. And this was one of to me, this was like Calgary Stampede was like, if I could put it in a modern sense, it would be CM Punk 2011 Money in the Bank, where
Oh
you
yeah.
have a match in the city and the hometown heroes in there, and you can't fuck them over. I mean, WWE has, but you can't.
I mean, they screwed Bret Hart literally 4 months later.
Yeah, but that was under some different circumstances. That was some. I'm talking about at this time, not 4 years later. We all know what happened 4 years later, and the whole him punching him and so on and so forth. But see, this is the roll up. Everybody's throwing stuff at him, and I feel like the Legion of Doom, the British and Ken Shamrock and Goldust are just like, you know what? Let's get out of here. And Stone Cold is like by himself, like fuck this shit. And then but it's crazy how that worked. See how like everybody else up the ramp, Legion of Doom and Ken Shamrock, and where's Goldust? And Stone Cold walks off the ramp like, nah, I'm out this bitch.
Yeah. I don't want to be associated with these guys anymore.
I don't know who they are. Who that? And
Get,
now this is where I say this is it. Like
get me, dude,
you
love,
couldn't,
damn it.
yeah. Damn it, dude, love. But to me, this is where I see the difference. This is why I said it was like the swan song. Like this was it. You couldn't
Yeah,
picture Bret ending. If he had ended his career right here, I think this probably would have been the perfect send off to
you're absolutely
WCW.
right. Uh,
And
Not to put
he
a,
would have to get screwed 8 months later. And
maybe
look at
not.
Austin. Austin, don't give a
Oh,
fuck.
poor Niedhart.
And this is what I'm talking about. Austin took that heat, man.
Oh, he loved it.
Everybody left him. The whole team left him. Be like, fuck this. Let me come back. Let me come back in here and start some shit. And then you see Bret just wailing on his ass. Like, what the fuck wrong with you, fam?
And you see Pat Patterson having to get in there,
Oh, yeah.
and Gerald Briscoe pre
See,
Stooge camera act.
yeah, pre-Scrooge. See, Stone Cold coming in, fucking up the cookout. You see how that fucking it up.
You know,
Look at him. He just. But you know what?
Stone
This
Cold
is
getting
what I was
arrested
talking about.
again.
Like this, all of this made Stone Cold the Stone Cold that he was. That's why I say everybody says, oh my God, him and Rock had the best. Yeah, but by that time, Rock was getting into his own and Stone Cold was already there. This shit is what got like elevated him. Because think about it. He comes back the next night and Owen Hart is singing the national anthem. And Stone Cold comes out and beats his ass right after. Right after. And you know what's the crazy part is? They're cheering for Brian Pillman, and he's from fucking Cincinnati, Ohio. But he down
Exactly.
with the Hart family. He down with the Hart family, and he like, shit. And
I
Stone
love
Cold
how,
just taking it all in.
I love how
LeBron
Stone Cold
James.
he gives the finger with his hands in the handcuffs.
I told you, man, this is ultimate Tupac shit right here. Like the white Tupac. The white Tupac of the WWF. And here comes Stu. Told you this was it, man. Like this
You're
is the
talking about
send off.
the rapper Pac, not the bastard Pac.
Yeah, not that Pac. And then you see Brian Pillman help him in there. And that's why I said this is probably the best family moment in their history. I
Considering
mean,
a
this
lot of considering the only person on the Canadian team that's still alive is Bret Hart.
yeah, that's even the crazier part, right? And then
I think that's Davey Boy Smith Jr. that just ran into the ring.
there's Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd comes in of the Hart Foundation. And it's just a shame. Yeah, you're right, man. Bret's the only one kicking out of anybody on that team. I mean, hell, out of anybody in that main event, you only got Animal, Stone Cold, Goldust,
Ken
and
Shamrock.
Bret,
No, Ken Shamrock's still alive.
and Shamrock. Oh yeah, Shamrock. So
Don't
that's
be
what.
killing
Yeah, that's
Ken
what.
Shamrock off.
I did I say Shamrock?
No, you didn't
Please
say
don't
Ken
let me kill.
Shamrock.
Okay. I'm trying not to kill him. Please don't let me kill Ken Shamrock. But yeah, this to me, yeah. See, like this was like the family reunion. Like this is probably the best wrestling moment for the Hart as a family, and it was just just bananas, and it just
I believe that was Helen Hart.
ultimate. Oh yeah, of course they were gonna bring Helen in,
Yeah.
man. Helen jumps in. Um, see
I,
Natalia there. Kids
I don't
there.
spot Natalia, but I know that she's in there.
She's in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's in there.
I know some random kid came in the ring that was not associated with the Hart Foundation, the Hart family whatsoever.
You know what? It could have been like her mother's sister's cousin's baby daddy. You know
Okay,
how that shit
that might be
goes.
Natalia coming in the ring right now in like the white
Yeah,
pants. No.
yeah, the white pants. Yeah, that's her. So that's her. And then I know Tyson. I want to say he was in the black shirt, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. But yeah,
Yeah, was Tyson
Natalia's.
dating Natalia even back here?
I wouldn't put it past him. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. Would not put it past him. Laying that game down flat, boy. That's how you put it in early.
Nice little moment to end the show. And yeah,
Yeah.
the perspective you just gave us that, this was the swan song for the Hart family. Uh, yeah, pretty accurate, all things considering.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider what would happen in the subsequent years, yeah, this
I
was
mean,
about
just a
as good
couple
as it
months
got.
later.
Yeah, you got what, a couple months later, Pillman dies. Then you have the screw job. Then you have Owen dying. It's just yeah.
Shout out to Coleco's son. And that will conclude our coverage of In Your House Canadian Stampede. Um, Definitely one of those In Your Houses you have to go back and watch for sure.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Oh yeah.
if you like the show, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Um, and you can join in the conversation on Twitter. I'm at JamesJ993. Where can they find Coleco Yachts?
I am Coleco.
And we have one more week of our 25th anniversary In Your House shows. Uh, because Mitch Mayhem does not have the WWE Network and is not even here, uh, I might have to call an audible, and you and me might have to do something.
Uh, sure. I mean, at this point, we all picked 97, so I feel like that's a thing. I feel like that's a thing. Whether we knew it or not, we 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 all jumped into this whole Bret, and it feels like an ode to, and in a sense, it feels like an ode to Bret.
I mean,
It
this could
really
have
does
been
in
the
this year.
the Bret Hart in your house, the best of Bret Hart in your house.
I know that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? Because the rest of them beforehand, In Your House really didn't pick up until right around now. So yeah.
Hey, great minds think alike. For Coleco Yachts, Mitch Mayhem, Scooter Dust, I am James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.